Hello first years. Congratulations for meeting your first deadline for the advert project. Work is never done in our industry, just that a deadline arrives. As I'm sure you noticed, you can always tweak things, add things, enhance, edit, but the deadline's a deadline. And we're training you to meet professional deadlines for projects because in industry that is the expectation. So, we move on. You might get some feedback this week asking for a few more things for you to complete the advert project, because some of you might not have completely nailed it at the first attempt. That's completely normal for the first projects, but either way, you'll have feedback as to what you need to do to go again and to just tweak and improve your advert project if you haven't already achieved all the criteria at the first time of asking. Right now, we move on to this, the second of 6 projects throughout the first academic year. The first 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are assessed at pass or fail, or pass or try again is a better way of phrasing that. The reason they are assessed at pass or try again is to prepare you for this. At the very end of the academic year, the final major project, which is pass, merit or distinction, and ultimately dictates your overall grade for the academic year, for your diploma. Anyway, this is where we are right now, and you're about to enter a 3-week period. So it's only 1 unit as opposed to 2 units like the advert project, and we're starting on the 14th and going to the 8th of November. And this is called the professional project. So I'm going to put it in Classroom momentarily, and you'll find, I need to switch my button over, you'll find that under the classwork tab, in projects, you'll find the professional project will be sitting next to the advert projects. At the end of the year, it will be all 6 there. And of course, there'll be a tab underneath where all the materials relating to the professional project will be put. So I can move that up there now because I'm about to start populating that. There we go. But, like I say, let's go through this first. The brief. So the brief is purple this time. To colour coordinate in our minds what one we are working on, and it covers introduction to professional practice in the creative media production sector. This unit will provide you with an introduction to the diversity of different roles and responsibilities and tasks and jobs and workflows in a particular profession that you are interested in the sector that you want to go into, and looking at progression opportunities within that area as well. So, what I mean by that is you'll be looking at how people progress in that sector. You'll be looking at the working practices of what they use, the software, the day-to-day, and you'll be gaining an understanding of the skills needed for a career in that particular area. This unit is really good for helping you to dip your toe in the water of a particular field you think might like that, being a photographer, or quite fancy being an editor, or I might want to try running a social media campaign, or I want to become a director. Whatever the thing is, the task, the role, the general domain field you want to work in, that's where you focus for now. The professional project asks you to think about what you want to do. As a job, it may not be that you know for certain. That's fine. If that's the case, then what's a job that you quite fancy, that you think, you know what, I would quite like exploring this particular field? In this assignment, you're going to create a professional project. You're going to create evidence of 3 tasks to show your ability to manage your time in particular. I'm really keen to see evidence of this and to be a professional. Now, for the first part of the academic year, I've seen professionalism for the most part in my lessons, but I'm expecting professionalism all the time, because with this project, it's being assessed by all your tutors and me, and we're going to fill in a witness statement at the end of what we have observed of you over the next 3 weeks, 3 weeks of the project. So between these dates here, the 14th of October and the 8th of November, all of your teachers, that's Vicky McCauley, that's Vicky Soanes, Peter Gordon and myself, are going to be observing you, and then we're going to be gathered around a table and deciding whether you have done the following. Have you demonstrated research into a job that you want in your industry? This will cover Unit 1.1 rather. So Unit 3, 1.1, have you located and accessed and used information available about universities, about apprenticeships, about training, using online tutorials, using free tutorials and training materials that are available online to develop your own development, as it were, to actually help you develop your skills in relation to the job you want to look into. Have you found information and used it well? That will be achieved or not achieved. Unit 3, 1.1. All your teachers will be looking as well to see whether you have developed and practiced your skills required for that job. So have you not only looked into that job, but have you actually started to practice those skills? So if you're a photographer, have you been out taking those photographs, making a little portfolio? If you want to be a director, have you made something, a show reel or a short music video potentially, or maybe a scene of a film or a TV show or a new online webisode? If it's in relation to journalism, have you made an article, for example? Have you practiced the skills required for the job? So this covers Unit 3, 2.1 and 2.2. So 2.1, have you evaluated a range of different working practices and methods? So looked into the sort of things that people do in that job, and actually spoken about them, actually done them, actually carried out these practices. And then on your blog or site, told me what you've learned from that, told me what you've taken from that experience. Evaluating essentially means telling me the good and the bad, the things that are difficult, the things that are somewhat easier to you, reflecting on what went well, what didn't go so well when you were carrying out these working practices and methods. You might find some things quite difficult, some things you've got a natural affinity for. You'll be not commenting on your blog and site the whole way through. Have you applied knowledge of these working practices, using the equipment, using the resources, using different skills? Have you applied that knowledge to support your own development? So have you created something, essentially, is what we're looking for there. Applying knowledge is what I'm looking for you to do. Not only finding out about it, but actually creating something as a consequence of that. The last part is you're going to create a proposal and a project. Now, Peter's really good at helping you with proposal writing because he's got industry experience doing that. And for the final major project, you're going to be writing a proposal. So justifying and distilling what you want to do into a succinct proposal is a really good practice because that's how we get funding for projects in industry, for the most part, in my experience anyway. So getting in that habit is really good, and it helps you to crystallize what you want to actually do. The proposal will happen, and then you'll negotiate and agree with your tutors as to whether that is suitable or not for you to do that. And then you'll create a project that's appropriate to the job you want in industry. So proposal and project. This covers Unit 3, 3.1 and 3.2. So have you organised yourself and worked to meet a deadline? And 3.2, have you demonstrated consideration and professionalism in working with others? People in the classroom, your teachers, people externally, if you want to work with anybody else on another course or remotely. I'm looking to see whether you've done that, whether you've worked with others well. Not just the people you normally gravitate towards. I want to see you work with other people in the classroom as well. This is an individual project, but you will be working with others, no doubt, to help them carry out their professional projects, and they'll be helping you to carry out your professional project. But it is, make no mistake about it, an individual project. So, there we go then. In essence, that is it. Research, practicing the skills, and then creating a project. These are the things you're going to be doing on the professional projects. Deadline is, as I'm sure you've noticed at this point, the 8th of November 2019. It's the grid I'm going to be using when I sit with your fellow teachers to decide whether you've managed to achieve this. And of course, it's all going to be handed in Google Classroom. So you'll be handing it in the classwork tab, but there'll be a reminder that week, of course, the week of the 8th of November 2019 for you to hand in your work. Good luck.